treatment model that our group chose to present is the 7 Challenges Substance Abuse Intervention Model by Robert Schwebel. The purpose of the program is it's a harm reduction model that acknowledges youth where they're at. And for the counselor, it's focusing on building a trusting relationship with the youth and really to support them through their development and help develop problem-solving skills, not only about their substance use, but also with any other life issues they might be experiencing. 7 Challenges is a cognitive and emotional decision-making model as well. Young people are encouraged to consider the reasons for their use, what they like about using substances and drugs, how they are harmed or the harm that comes to others by the use of substances, and how their continued use might affect their future. It helps the adolescents learn to think for themselves and to become skilled at making their own decisions. It does take on a holistic and healthy decision-making approach in addition to an empowerment model, really focusing on skills, self-awareness, and insight. Not only with substance use, but life skills. It does acknowledge that abstinence is a component and that substance use is a disease, but its prime function is to look at harm reduction. Counselors are encouraged not to assume that the youth are ready to be candid about their usage, nor are they asked to make instantaneous changes. Drug use is recognized that it did not start overnight, nor is the remedy going to occur that quickly. So it's slowing down the change process, again focusing where the youth are at, and looking at recovery as a journey to success. It's based on stages of change. Taking on this idea that it's not a mad rush for abstinence, that idea is counterintuitive. It allows youth to come to their own decisions and choices. It can work on 2 levels. If abstinence is required, that can be a focal point. Also looking at the harm reduction is an imperative as well. The youth may not even recognize that they have a problem, so it's also developing self-awareness, allowing the youth to have time to process their problems. It is a group-based model.
Challenge 1 is deciding to open up and talk honestly about ourselves and about our alcohol and other drug use. It allows for trust, safety, and relationship building. It's opening up not just about drug use, but all parts of their life. As a clinician, it's important to undo the negative expectations about drug treatment, to create a climate of honesty, establish trust, and redefine success. Success as part of how the youth would define it, not as how the clinician defines it. Challenge 2 is we looked at what we liked about alcohol and other drugs and why we were using them. It allows for the acknowledgement that there are benefits to drug use, for self-understanding, acknowledges how the youth meets their needs and desires, and it allows for a discussion that drugs can have positive effects. It is important as a clinician to focus on allowing for this discussion because it shows that you're interested in your client, and it's a focus on what is good about not just drugs but about what's going on in their life. It shows again a good an interest in your client and makes a good assessment. A good assessment requires full disclosure, so a complete understanding of what they like and what's going on in their lives. Challenge 3 is looking at our use of alcohol and other drugs to see if it had caused harm or could cause harm. It acknowledges that there are harms of use and addresses the negative consequences. and not just about drugs and alcohol, but of a situation. What harms could there be in any given situation? The clinical skills are here. You're allowed to talk about the potential dangers and harms of use. And it's important to avoid argumentation and avoid the rebuttal cycle. Allow the youth to acknowledge the harms as they see them, not as you see them. Confronting denial by getting to the harm, so it allows other youth to hold each other accountable and allows for honest feedback from the clinician and other group members. Challenge 4 is we looked at our responsibility and the responsibility of others for our problems. It is designed to counteract the simplistic thinking such as, I am to blame for all my problems, or others are to blame for all my problems. It allows for taking the responsibility for actions, validation of difficulties that the youth have faced, and for constructive criticism. It is important as a clinician to empower our youth with the bigger picture. Validation and affirmations are very important in the 7 challenges and in the challenge 4. When a youth shares a situation in which they're angry, you can say, I can see why you are so angry. It helps teach responsibility for one's own behavior, and it builds a bridge to constructive criticism. So now that they are aware that something's wrong, it is now their responsibility to practice new ways of coping. Challenge 5. We thought about where we seemed to be headed, where we wanted to go, and what we wanted to accomplish. It allows for the youth to get in touch with their hopes and dreams. It addresses their future orientation, their values, their goals, their dreams, their hopes. And as a clinician, it's important to reestablish this future orientation so they can look at their choices, reflect upon where they are headed, looking at their future, and have hope and optimism, because many of these youth don't have hope and optimism for their future. And it's inspire these are crucial steps in inspiring the change process.
Challenge 6. We made thoughtful decisions about our lives and about our use of alcohol and other drugs. So this is the essential objective of Challenge 6, is to help the clients make fully informed, internally motivated, and committed decisions to change. It addresses the steps towards behavioral change and preparation for decisions. So the clinician's skills needed for Challenge 6 is making real decisions. So the decision to quit has to be on the client's terms, not the counselor's terms, and addressing what will happen when treatment's over, and then looking at alternatives. Challenge 7, we followed through on our decisions about our lives and drug use. If we saw problems, we went back to earlier challenges and mastered them. So this allows for the evaluation of progress, relapse prevention, support, and then it helps to set realistic expectations. So for Challenge 7, clinician skills is taking actions. So the client can make fully informed decisions on their own, and relapse prevention, looking into lifestyle changes and identifying triggers for the clients. So the 7 challenges, implementation of the program is providing working sessions which the clients lead, teaching the clients life skills, creating activities, discussions, and problem-solving sessions, and then using 9 different journals that are completed during the session time. So companion theories of the 7 challenges are cognitive behavioral therapy, also known as CBT, which helps the clients identify problematic thoughts and challenges that the client to explore more effective ways to cope. Motivational interviewing is another companion theory of the 7 challenges, which elicits change talk, allowing for client's choice. So in conclusion, the 7 challenges is an evidence-based, effective harm reduction treatment model, helping the youth gain insight, skills, and self-determination with the management of their substance use and emotional wellness issues. Supporting evidence that we found for the 7 challenges is that SAMHSA recognizes the 7 challenges as an evidence-based practice. It's effective in reducing levels of substance abuse, overall improvement of overall mental health, honesty, and relationships with the client's family and then with other adults as well. It's also shown to reduce the severity of mental distress, so anxiety and depression, for youth with co-occurring disorders. So for more information, you can visit the 7 Challenges website. And here are our references.